Arthur had worked in the dusty, quiet clock shop for over 20 years, knowing every gear and spring by heart. One rainy Tuesday, a strange, ornate box was left on his counter by a customer who disappeared into the fog. Inside, he found a machine that didn't look like any clock he had ever seen, with gears that hummed a soft, melodic tune. Arthur carefully lifted the machine from the box and placed it on his workbench. The brass surface was covered with tiny symbols that he could not understand. As he examined it more closely, the soft melody continued to play, filling the quiet shop with an unusual sense of calm. The rain fell heavily outside while Arthur remained in the workshop long after closing time. He checked every gear and screw but found no source of power. The machine seemed impossible. Despite his years of experience, he could not explain how it worked. As midnight approached, Arthur noticed something hidden beneath the machine. A small silver key rested in a narrow compartment. It looked old and valuable. He wondered whether it belonged to the machine and whether he should risk using it. Curiosity finally won. Arthur inserted the key into a tiny opening and slowly turned it. The gears immediately began to move. A warm golden light spread across the room, and the melody became louder than before. Arthur stepped back in surprise. When the light faded, everything appeared normal again. The machine sat quietly on the table as if nothing had happened. Arthur considered locking it away, but he could not ignore the feeling that it was trying to reveal something important. The next morning, Arthur discovered an envelope hidden inside the box. The paper was yellow with age. Inside was a short handwritten message. It warned him to be careful and explained that the machine was connected to events long forgotten. The letter claimed that the machine could reveal moments from the past. Arthur laughed at first because the idea sounded ridiculous. Yet he could not forget the strange light from the night before. Part of him wondered if the message might actually be true. That evening, he activated the machine once again. The golden light returned, but this time something different happened. A glowing image slowly appeared above the machine. Arthur watched in complete amazement as shapes began to form. The image showed the clock shop exactly as it had looked many decades earlier. The shelves were different, and the walls were freshly painted. Several customers entered through the front door. Arthur felt as though he were watching a living memory. To his surprise, He recognized one of the people in the vision. It was his father as a young man. Arthur watched silently while he repaired a pocket watch behind the counter. The sight filled him with emotions he had not felt in years. When the vision disappeared, Arthur sat quietly for several minutes. He replayed every detail in his mind. The machine had shown him something impossible. From that moment, he knew his life would never be quite the same again. Over the following days, Arthur continued using the machine. Each vision revealed another forgotten scene from the past. Some moments were ordinary, while others contained mysteries. The machine seemed to know exactly which memories were important. One evening, Arthur noticed a young woman appearing in several different visions. She often entered the shop carrying books or small packages. Nobody else seemed to pay much attention to her, yet she appeared again and again. During another vision, the woman carefully removed a loose brick from the wall and hid a small object inside. Before Arthur could see what it was, the image faded away. Determined to learn more, he immediately went to inspect the wall himself. The same loose brick was still there after all those years. Arthur carefully removed it and discovered a small metal box hidden behind it. His hands trembled as he opened it, wondering whether the mysterious woman had just revealed another secret. Inside the metal box, Arthur found an old photograph and a folded note. The photograph showed the same young woman standing beside a tall man wearing a dark coat. On the back, a single name was written in faded ink: Eleanor. The note contained only a date from many years ago. Arthur spent the next afternoon researching the name. He visited the local library and searched through old newspapers. After several hours, he discovered that Eleanor had once owned the clock shop. According to the records, she had disappeared suddenly one autumn evening and was never seen again. The mystery occupied Arthur's thoughts for days. Every free moment was spent studying the machine and reviewing the visions. He hoped to find another appearance by Eleanor. Instead, the machine showed ordinary scenes from town life, offering clues that seemed frustratingly incomplete. Then one evening, Eleanor appeared again. She was standing inside the shop after closing time, speaking to someone Arthur could not see. Her expression was serious. She carefully placed a wooden box on the counter before looking nervously toward the front window. A figure wearing a dark coat entered the shop. Arthur immediately recognized the same man from the photograph. Eleanor handed him the box and spoke urgently. Although Arthur could not hear their conversation, he sensed that something important was taking place between them. The vision ended before revealing any answers. Arthur leaned back in frustration. The machine seemed determined to provide only pieces of the story. Still, every clue made him more curious. He knew that Eleanor and the stranger were connected to the machine somehow. A week later, a young woman entered the shop during a quiet afternoon. She introduced herself as Clara and explained that she was researching local history. As soon as she noticed the machine on Arthur's workbench, her eyes widened with surprise and recognition. Clara told Arthur that her grandfather had often spoken about a mysterious device connected to the town's past. According to family stories, he had spent decades searching for it. Arthur listened carefully, realizing that Clara might know more than anyone else about the machine. Although hesitant at first, Arthur decided to trust her. He activated the machine and showed her one of the visions. Clara watched in astonishment as the glowing image appeared above the gears. When it ended, she sat silently for several moments. From that day forward, Arthur and Clara worked together. Clara researched historical records while Arthur continued operating the machine. Their discoveries soon revealed forgotten stories about the town, its people, and events that had disappeared from public memory long ago. One vision revealed a hidden meeting beneath the town hall many decades earlier. Another showed the construction of buildings that still stood today. The machine seemed capable of uncovering almost any moment from the past if they were patient enough. As the weeks passed, Arthur and Clara became close friends. They spent long evenings discussing theories and comparing clues. Both felt that they were approaching an important discovery. The mystery surrounding Eleanor appeared to connect every strange event they investigated. During one particularly quiet night, the machine produced an unusual vision. Instead of showing the past, it displayed a room filled with clocks unlike any Arthur had ever seen. Hundreds of timepieces covered the walls from floor to ceiling. Standing at the center of the room was the mysterious customer who had delivered the box. He appeared older and calmer than Arthur remembered. Slowly, the stranger turned toward them and looked directly into the vision as though he knew they were watching. Arthur felt a chill run down his spine. The stranger smiled slightly before speaking. His voice echoed through the workshop. Every choice leaves a mark on time, he said quietly. Then the vision vanished, leaving Arthur and Clara staring at each other in shock. Arthur could not stop thinking about the stranger's words. The machine had never shown anything like that before. For the first time, it seemed less like a window into history and more like a tool connected to something far greater. Clara appeared equally disturbed by the experience. The following evening, they searched through the journal pages they had collected from various hiding places. One entry described a keeper of time, a person responsible for protecting the machine. Neither Arthur nor Clara knew whether the description referred to a real individual. Another passage mentioned that the machine had passed through many hands over the centuries. Each owner had added knowledge to it before giving it to someone new. Arthur began to wonder whether the stranger who delivered the box was simply the previous keeper. As they continued reading, they found a map folded between two journal pages. The map showed several locations around the town. One spot was marked with a small symbol identical to the one engraved on the machine's brass surface. The next morning, Arthur and Clara followed the map. The marked location led them to an abandoned stone building near the edge of town. Ivy covered the walls, and many windows were broken. The place appeared deserted and forgotten. Inside the building, they discovered a narrow staircase leading underground. The air was cool and damp. Carrying lanterns, they carefully descended into darkness until they reached a large chamber hidden beneath the old structure. The chamber contained shelves filled with books, documents, and mechanical devices. Dust covered everything. Some of the machines resembled clocks, while others looked far more advanced. Arthur immediately recognized several symbols matching those on the mysterious machine. On a wooden table near the center of the room lay another journal. Unlike the others, it was remarkably well preserved. Clara opened it carefully and began reading aloud. The first pages described an inventor who had dedicated his life to preserving important moments from history. According to the journal, the inventor believed people often repeated mistakes because they forgot the lessons of the past. The machine had been created to help future generations remember. However, he warned that knowledge without wisdom could become dangerous. The deeper they explored the chamber, the more evidence they found connecting Eleanor to the inventor's work. Several notes were signed with her name. She appeared to have protected the machine long after the inventor's death, keeping its secrets hidden from the world. One document described a final safeguard hidden within the machine itself. It explained that only after understanding its purpose could someone unlock its greatest secret. Arthur and Clara exchanged excited glances and hurried back to the clock shop. That night, they carefully examined every part of the machine. After several hours, Clara discovered a nearly invisible switch beneath one of the gears. When she pressed it, a hidden compartment slowly opened inside the brass frame. Within the compartment rested a crystal unlike anything they had ever seen. It glowed faintly even in darkness. The moment Arthur touched it, the machine's melody returned, richer and clearer than before. The entire workshop seemed filled with golden light. The gears began spinning rapidly on their own. Arthur and Clara stepped back as a new vision appeared. Unlike previous visions, this one was brighter and far more detailed. It showed faces, places, and events with incredible clarity. As the vision expanded, they realized they were witnessing the complete story of the machine's creation. The inventor worked tirelessly for years, sacrificing comfort and wealth to complete his masterpiece. His goal was simple: to ensure that important lessons would never be lost to time.